Fusion dance. Fusion is a physical martial arts technique and the special technique of the people from the planet Metamor. It allows for two beings of similar body size and combat strength to merge into a singular being. The fusion dance is a technique that is introduced by Goku after learning it from Metamorans in the other world. His son, Goten, fuses with Trunks in order to create Gotenks. The purpose of the fusion is to temporarily merge two or more bodies into a single, superior entity. History. Son Goku picked up this technique while he was training in the afterworld, having encountered the Metamorans and learned their techniques. This fusion is merely one of many variants created by the Metamorese, and is specifically for increasing combat strength. Overview. Usage and power. The fusion dance is a short series of poses that are performed by two individuals of equal power levels. To correctly perform the fusion, the fusees must strike the poses in a perfectly symmetrical image of one another. The result of a correctly performed fusion dance is a superior being whose power is multiplied several-fold over that of the individual fusees. If the dance is performed incorrectly, it will result in an obese or skinny character who is much weaker than the fusees, though in Dragon Ball GT this is changed so that instead of becoming a failed fusion, the fusion process from an incorrectly performed dance will cancel before fusion can be achieved. Fusing through this technique uses up a lot of ki. While the technique works best with fusees who have roughly equal sizes, Akira Toriyama has stated that it is possible to merge no matter the conditions so long as the technique is followed properly. The fused character possesses mixed physical traits of their original counterparts. All characters fused through the fusion seem to acquire the same attire: white pants, a sash, and a vest with yellow or orange padding around the shoulders and neck. In addition to this regular Metamoran attire, the adult version of Gotenks has Trunks' brown boots and brown gloves, and a gray shirt. If the fusees are not wearing clothes while performing the dance, the fused character will not wear clothes either. The first Metamoran fusion to debut in the manga was Gotenks, a fusion of Goten and Trunks. The second is Gogeta, born from Goku and Vegeta, though he had made several prior non-canon appearances, including his debut in Dragon Ball Z, Fusion Reborn, his Super Saiyan 4 self in Dragon Ball GT, and a What If saga in Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 2. In both Fusion Reborn and Dragon Ball Super, Broly, Gogeta also has a failed variant named Viku. In Budokai 2, Tien-Cha is born from Tien Shinhan and Yamcha. The total fusion time lasts about 30 minutes, depending on the amount of ki that is used. After a successful fusion splits apart, it takes the characters' bodies another hour before they are able to fuse again. However, if the fusion was unsuccessful, the two characters can immediately attempt fusion again after splitting. The fusion can also end if the two fusees' power levels fall out of sync after the fusion is completed. In Dragon Ball Z, Wrath of the Dragon, it is revealed that if the fused characters sustain enough damage while under fusion, the fusion will end prematurely. Additionally, the more powerful the fused entity is, the shorter the fusion will last. For example, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta only lasted 10 minutes. It is possible that this only applies to means of power beyond the fused entity's natural power, such as unnatural transformations beyond the natural state of Super Saiyan, as the aforementioned form has never been shown to affect the fusion's time limit, while extensions of the form, such as Super Saiyan 3, are the only ones in the original manga to shorten a fused entity's time limit, with Super Saiyan 4 doing the same in Dragon Ball GT. In Dragon Ball Xenoverse, it is revealed that the time limit this fusion has does not exist in Toki Toki City, as Gotenks is able to exist indefinitely. On a similar note, Goku implies it is possible to defuse at will, when he jokingly suggests to Gotenks after the hot tub was destroyed during a fight with him that they remain fused so that Chi-Chi will only spank the pair exactly once rather than endure one each. Fusion dance's potency in comparison to Pod Era varies depending on the source. According to Weekly Shonen Jump, the fusion dance is stated to allow the resulting warrior to draw out their power to the greatest extent due to being more balanced, while according to Daisensha 7 the Pod Era produces a stronger warrior. However, it was most currently stated that Gogeta and Vegeto are equally matched trump cards, so the fusion dance and Pod Era fusion techniques must be extremely similar, if not the same, in terms of resulting power augmentation, meaning the Pod Era fusion only appears to edge out in terms of having twice the dance's base time limit. Technique. The dance itself is explained by Goku in Dragon Ball Z, Fusion Reborn, as combining elements of both traditional fighting poses and water ballet. The performers must visualize two rivers flowing towards each other that get closer as they approach each other, then converge at two single points. The points collapse under the pressure and the two rivers flow into each other, becoming one. The movements, right down to the fusee's breathing, must be perfectly synchronized and symmetrical or the fusion will fail. The fusees must also equalize their power levels. More than two people can perform the dance. Weaknesses. Upon utilization of powerful transformations like Super Saiyan 4, there becomes a massive strain imposed on fused beings which results in a decreasing of the standard fusion time of 30 minutes to 10 minutes or even lower, as evident in the Battle of Gogeta and Omega Shenron. A user of the forced spirit fission technique can defuse a Metamoran fused being by splitting and tearing apart its fusee's individual spirits into their separate original selves. Usage. To perform fusion, it requires two people to be of similar power and similar body size, and from there, they must perform a sequence of poses. These poses must be performed as exact mirror images of their partner, everything must match exactly, and when it succeeds, a separate entity who possesses power far outstripping the two counterparts is born as the result. However, should the technique fail, the result will be either a fat or thin entity with no aptitude for combat. Additionally, the name after merging becomes a portmanteau of the two names of the original entity. They also wear Metamorese clothing. The key weakness to the fusion, however, is time. Once fused, the entity created exists only for a half hour, and then the two must wait before they can fuse again. Only in the anime, it is shown that the fusion technique only creates the Metamoran attire when the users themselves are wearing clothes. If they fuse naked, the resulting fusion is also naked. Variations. God Fusion. A fusion technique created by Goku as a result of his wish to Shenron. Similar to the fusion dance, it is created through a series of poses, albeit the main user has to gather enough energy to do so. It also creates a similar being that wears Metamoran attire like the fusion dance. Unlike the fusion dance, this fusion can be performed with various participants as long as they wish to do so to Shenron, as shown in Goku's case when he fused with the Super World Martial Arts Tournament audience. It is unknown how much stronger it is compared to the other fusion techniques, but it was enough to turn the tides around for Goku to overwhelm and destroy Broly in his Broly God form with a God Kamehameha. EX Fusion. As a result of research into fusion by Bulma, the Capsule Corporation develops a device called the Metamoring, an armband-like device that allows two people wearing them to perform the fusion dance in order to perform EX Fusion. Unlike Metamoran fusion, EX Fusion only requires the two fusees to wear Metamorings and perform the fusion dance to fuse, effectively allowing people of different sizes and power levels to fuse, for example legendary Super Saiyan Broly with Goku or Kid Trunks with future Trunks. Additionally, unlike Metamoran fusion, EX Fusion close fuse like with Pod Era fusion instead of wearing Metamoran clothing and will wear a Metamoring on their arm. Unlike Pod Era fusion, the two Metamorings fuse together into a single ring. Though created partially by fusion dance, the fusion produced by EX Fusion usually differs slightly from the Metamoran fusion counterparts, if one exists at all, in appearance, though usually retain the Metamoran fusion counterpart's name which features the prefix EX in front of their name: EX Gotenks, EX Gogeta, EX Prelin, EX Tiancha, etc. However, there are exceptions such as Rappa, the EX Fusion counterpart to Nats, the Metamoran fusion of Nappa and Raditz. EX Fusion also allows two people of different genders to fuse, as shown by the EX Fusion of Great Saiyaman and Great Saiyawoman to create Great Saiyaman 12 or Android 17 and Android 18 to create Android 1718. As a result, EX Fusion resembles a mixture between the fusion dance and Pod Era fusion, as it is the result of fusion dance, but allows people to fuse regardless of size and is produced with the aid of an object worn by both fusees which the resulting fusion wears. While EX fusions are not as powerful as fusions created by Metamoran fusion, they have the advantage of having no time limit, Metamoran fusion's main weakness, and can defuse at will by simply removing the single Metamoring created by the fusion which apparently holds the EX fusion together. As a result, it is in some ways superior to Metamoran fusion and non-Shinjin Pod Era fusions, like Vegeto, as the fusion can be maintained indefinitely as long as the EX fusion continues to wear the Metamoring. However, it is currently unknown if an EX fusion would defuse if the Metamoring that holds them together were to be damaged or broken. It is also unclear if the EX fusion will defuse if their Metamoring is forcibly removed by someone other than the EX fusion. If one or both of these are true, then the Metamoring itself would be an EX fusion's main weakness, as it could be effectively targeted by an enemy to undo the fusion, either by forcibly removing, damaging, or outright destroying it. Ultra Fusion. The maximum amount of people that can fuse together via fusion dance is 5, and in order to achieve this the users must perform the 5-way fusion dance in order for all 5 users to merge. 5-way fusion was apparently developed by the Ginyu Force while they were in the time-space rift and would later be taught to Tekka, Pan, Goten, Kid Trunks, and Kid Goku, who would use it during the time-space tournament. Additionally, the Ginyu Force would teach the technique to their master Frieza, who along with Cell would teach it to Pinich, Wanta, and Paprika in order to manipulate Pinich and his team into performing 5-way fusion with Frieza and Cell to create the ultimate Ultra Fusion. The results are different, as the resulting fusion is overwhelmingly more powerful than a normal fusion created through the dance, even achieving new hybrid forms even if the users of the dance were incapable of using the powerful forms that make up these hybrid transformations, or were incapable of those forms at the point they performed the fusion, like in the case with Kid Goku, who while possessing the potential to do so was unable to at that point as he had yet to reach the power level and conditions to access those Super Saiyan forms. Additionally, instead of shared control over the fusion warrior, the one who instigates fusion is the one who controls the resulting fusion, with their traits also becoming dominant such as race, gender. This does not apply to Namekians and Spoice. An Ultra Fusion warrior will only last for a few seconds before they defuse. Interestingly, the ultimate Ultra Fusion is capable of further transformation into his Golden Great Ape form due to Pinich possessing the ability to transform into a Golden Great Ape, as he possesses both a tail and the ability to go Super Saiyan. List of fusion dance entities. Gotenks, Trunks plus Goten. Xeno Gotenks, Xeno Trunks plus Xeno Goten. Gogeta, Goku plus Vegeta. Future Gogeta, Future Goku plus Future Vegeta. Xeno Gogeta, Xeno Goku plus Xeno Vegeta. Xeno Gohanks, Xeno Trunks plus Xeno Gohan. Future Gohanks, Future Trunks plus Future Gohan. Krillin, Piccolo plus Krillin. Tiancha, Tian Shinhan plus Yamcha. Nats, Nappa plus Raditz. Rikutter, Rikum plus Birder. Gulls, Guldo plus G's. Piccolo and Mascherito fusion. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kaioshin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my P at Trian. Many thanks to my awesome patrons. Ben Phillips.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.